All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trade. Today is Monday, March 7th, 2022. So markets getting battered again today. S&P down 3% there. Triple Qs down 3.6, Dow down 2.3, and the Russell bringing up the rear here down 2.44. Still holding up a little bit better than the rest of the market, but anyway you slice it or dice it, this market got slammed really hard today. And the two things that stand out to me here, let's put these lines back on. There we go. So you have a failed inside bar here on the daily. So with that close below 427.86, we now have a failed inside bar, and we lost this pivot on a closing basis. That tells me this market wants to go lower. So I know I've been in the camp that we were going to get some type of an ABC up. I do not think that is the case anymore here, based on what I've seen today. And I thought that we'd really get at least one more little counter trend pop here before the next leg lower. But at this point, it appears like that is not going to happen. Doesn't mean we can't get a relief bid tomorrow. The market did get slammed really hard, and a lot of it was. This looks a lot like algo selling. It was very controlled and very, there wasn't any panic selling. Really, the last 10 minutes, you had an increase in volume there, but it wasn't like we had a gap down and then a major sell-off into support where you could really look for a bottom. This market just kind of grinded lower all day long with no real capitulation. Now, the one thing I will say, the one little positive here for the market is there is a ton of puts in the system for next Friday. I believe I shared it on Twitter, but the OPEX week next week, it's loaded like at least 4 to 5 to 1 puts to calls on the chain. So that tells me there could be some type of a move higher, at least sometimes towards next week. But price action is king. We're losing this level here. I said on Friday, if we lost this level, that would be a major negative. And not only did we lose that, but we lost this as well. So this market's going to want to probably not only test the lows, but I think we're probably going to fill this gap at 400. Doesn't mean it goes down in a straight line. Again, we could bounce back up a little bit. We'll kind of like look for pattern here and see what happens. But across the board, market not looking healthy at all. Triple Qs losing this pivot down here, so that's going to probably test the lows soon. Diamond holding up the best here, but again, a pretty good rollover. Lost that inside bar there. And the IWM also lost this green bar low here from last week, from the actually 25th rather. So a really ugly move across the board. Now again, maybe you get a little bit of a bounce here. If you look at the Russell futures, you see this 1950 area is kind of a point of interest. So maybe it gets a bounce tomorrow, but just an overall pretty ugly look across the board today. Look at Tesla here, holding up better than most of other big name stocks here, but lost that green bar low, so that's a failed inside bar there. Amazon got pounded. This actually looks kind of attractive down here, despite that losing that green bar low there. But some of these names are just ridiculously oversold. Facebook, Netflix, again, making new 52-week lows here. So pretty poor performance across the board. And really, bulls just didn't defend any of these levels. So Amazon, maybe it gets a short-term bid here, but it's probably going to head down to $2,000 rather soon. I told you guys before, if it loses these pivots, it's going to be a $2,000 equity. Now, it'll bounce at 2,400 along the way. You got support of your 2425, but, just not a good look here. Not a good look overall. Semiconductors. This is another reason why this is such a terrible look. So semis losing that pivot. We know the semis are a major leading indicator, and that is ugly no matter how you slice it or dice it. IGV hanging on here to the lows. But, again, maybe it gets a little bit of relief bid. It's short-term oversold, but just not a good look across the board. Dow Transport's even coming back in. We talked about that 50 moving average, so that was rejected pretty resoundingly, down almost 3% on the day. Take a look at the Jets, just absolutely hammered here. 1691 closing price. Let's see if we got that. Yeah, so we filled that gap. I said we probably would fill that gap soon, and it didn't take very long. Again, you're into a lot of support though, but you did put in this big base here. So, sharp move down, and then look at the base here. If you go on the weekly, you can see it. Sharp move down, lots of consolidation. So the Jets did put in a nice consolidation to move lower. Now, again, you have a lot of support in here. Maybe it gets down to 16. It could go as low as 1360. I mean, there's your gap fill here. This is where the stock reversed and went higher, but not a good look here for the transports. Also didn't get any help here from the rails. CSX, look at that reversal. Norfolk Southern, same kind of thing. Union Pacific. So big reversals here on the rails, and that did not help the transports there. Surprisingly, the 10-year yield really just kind of an inside day. So we didn't really see major risk off in the bond market. 30-year yield here down, actually just flat here on the day. So not really a big move in the bond market outside of high yield debt, which lost that pivot there at 82. So we talked about that as well. The 82 level was not going to be, it had to help hold that area. Now you're probably headed down to about that 80-50 area where this pivot is. You got some chop right in there, but not a good look here for high yield debt. XLF financials, this one's going to head down to this pivot here. So that line is at 35, so probably around 35 bucks. Got to hold that area. It's got nice support there, but you have a failed breakout here on the XLF. We talked about this. I said this over the weekend. Broker dealers got to hold these pivots. So if we don't hold these pivots by the end of the week, broker dealers are going to get smoked. And I mean smoked. Look at all this downside risk there is. Now you got that 20-month moving average. Probably get some type of a bid off of that, but this is a minor, you're parallel here. So look at the spacing here. You're parallel by the time you came down here. So this is not, I wouldn't expect a huge pop off of that. Any pop you get off that's probably going to be minor. Let's take a look at Goldman here. That one probably will get a little bit of a bid off of that, but this can go lower to that 100-week moving average there. JP Morgan got hit again today as well. That probably wants to go down to this low pivot at 127. You also have the 200-week moving average not far behind that. So there is some support in that range, but just a beat down here in the financials, especially in the European financials. Deutsche Bank, geez, these banks are getting absolutely smoked. Credit Suisse. So big beat downs in these European banks here. I believe Citigroup has a lot of exposure to Russian banks, and that's obviously getting hit as well. So big beat down in the financials here. Let's talk about energy. Obviously, energy, a big driving force as to why the market's lower right now. I do think we're getting into, we may have seen a potential blow-off move here. XLE finishing with a big fat doji on the day. Let's take a look at crude. This looks to me like a possible blow-off candle on that daily chart. Big fat doji after a long uptrend. So we'll continue to watch this throughout the week. It's only Monday, but that does look like potentially a blow-off candle. Same thing here on gasoline futures. So big blow-off move, was up almost 2%, I think, at one point, but did reverse and, still closed positive. But that's a big fat doji right there. And usually that can signal the end of a trend. You're also parabolic now as well. So we'll see what happens here, but that, it would not surprise me if that ended up being some type of a big top here in energy. Nat gas reversing pretty sharply. Got through that 5 handle, but there was a lot of resistance up here. It's probably going to need to do some backing and filling if it wants to keep moving higher, but it had a nice pop off of the off that little bull flag kind of pattern there, but a pretty sharp reversal here today. Dollar index got through my target. I said a long time ago it was probably get up to 99. Got through that today, closed above it. Wish I had held my UUP calls a little bit longer, but is what it is. You can't have a crystal ball exactly, but 99 target achieved. Now this may actually get up to 100 here if we get some type of a panic move. A lot of money flowing out of Europe right now and into dollars, so that is a big driver there. Let's take a look at the euro, by the way. So getting hit pretty hard again, coming off the lows here. I said Friday it might get down to 108, and that's basically where it went right there. So coming off the lows a little bit, euro getting a little bit of a bid here. All right, let's flip over to gold. So gold did not come off the highs, unlike crude. So finishing above $2,000 an ounce. Huge move for gold here. It's coming into a lot of resistance, but it's a panic trade right now. It's a fear trade. Nothing to say it can't go higher, but that red bar high on the weekly will definitely need to be contended with. And then we still have 3.5 weeks or so until the end of the month, but if we close above that inside bar high, it's probably over with for precious metals bears in general, I guess. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. But for right now, gold holding up really well. Silver did come into resistance. I told you this was going to be an area of resistance for it. So it reversed pretty hard. Still had a nice, overall nice day, finishing flattish. But a pretty sizable reversal there. Take a look at GDX, by the way. Power move there. SIL. SILJ actually a little bit stronger than SIL. Let's take a look at the GDXJ. Yeah, so you are into some resistance here on the miners, but, nice moves overall. Can't take anything away from it. Platinum did finish with a little doji, so into resistance there. maybe a little extended short term. And how about the Rockstar Palladium? Look at this candle here on the daily chart of Palladium. This is insane volatility here. And again, maybe a little bit of a blow-off move here in some of these resource, stocks, energy stocks, stuff like that. But holy crap, look at this. I thought this candle was a lot, but look at that one today there on Palladium. Also, copper engulfing reversal here. So again, all-time high engulfing reversal. Take a look at crude, big doji, gas, big doji, XLE, doji, XOP, OIH. Look at the OIH, that's a blow-off bar there. Chevron, almost finished with a hanging man there, but got a nice bid towards the close here. Exxon, same kind of thing. Conoco. So a lot of these things are just getting, stratospheric, and there's some evidence of possibly a blow-off move. Doesn't mean it can't go higher without, with some panic. We get some news, but you have to think a lot of this has got to be priced in at this point. And the risk premium is starting to price itself in a little bit. Anyways, let's flip over here to the crypto market. 1 second here. All right, there we go. So Bitcoin also losing this low here. So it's got to hold this green bar low at 37,467. If it can't do that, that would be a huge negative. So you'd be losing that green bar low. Ether, same kind of deal. You already kind of lost it last week. So not looking the best here. Bitcoin's holding up the best out of all the cryptos right now, which makes sense. It's the leader. But that's really the area you want to watch. If we lose that low, this could go down to 30,000 pretty quickly. So just be aware of that. And this head and shoulder pattern is still in play. I talked to you guys about this months ago. As long as you don't close above this neckline, that head and shoulders on Bitcoin is in play, and it's got a target of about 17,000. Take a look here on the weekly. So yeah, this is a bear base here on the weekly. So you got to move down, inside bar, move down, inside bar. It is holding this green bar low for now, so we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. But you tried to break out above that and couldn't last week. So not the best look here for crypto either. Again, really the only kind of positive you have in my book is that there is an absurd amount of puts in the system, and there's incentive to burn those out. Take a look at the VXX here. VXX making a new high, and we have the spiders here not making a new low. So that would be your only positive, that there's a kind of a divergence here. There's a lot of shorts in the system, so there's still feel for a squeeze. But right now, probabilities of that, if you're going to see one, I would have wanted to see it by today. You'd want to see, this move down and then support here, and then you'd want to see them rip your face off right around here and close above, close green. That's what you wanted to see today, and we didn't see that. There was no bull stepping up to get in front of this. So we'll see what we get out here tomorrow. Maybe we get a little bit of a relief rally or something, but market looking really weak. Watch those energy stocks here. We'll be watching crude very closely, and we'll be watching bonds for clues. Anyways, guys, wrap it up here. You guys take care. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.